Hello, everyone. Good day and welcome to today's class. Um, Today is our last class for this cohort. Very interesting. So we have two insightful facilitators for today, Mr. Kuli Lawal and Ms. Rukia Hassan. They are going to put us through the candidate perspectives, the candidate 360 perspective. It's going to be very, very interesting and enlightening. So if your party members are not here, please reach out to them to join into this class because it's going to be very interesting. And we won't be giving more time for anyone to join. We'll just go straight ahead in order to meet up with everything that is to be covered up today. So we're all familiar with Mr. Kule Lawal's bio. So I'm just going to read that of Ms. Olufunke Rikia. Olufunke Rikia Hassan is the Vice Chairman of Bonibungo LC. She received her LLB from the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Osun State, also known as Great Ife, and her Legium Baccalaureus BL from the Nigerian Law School, Lagos campus, before venturing into the world of arbitration via an internship at the IDRI, International Dispute Resolution Institute, Abuja. An inductee into the first ever African Civic Engagement Academy, ACEA, Her passion for good governance has led her to also become the director for Lagos Electoral College Nigeria from 2020 to 2021, a registered political mentor with WIMBIS and the Southwest Social Secretary for the National Young Women in Politics Forum, NYWPF. She is a member of Amnesty International, a true illustrious daughter of the soil and indigene of Ikorodu in Lagos State. Olufunke is a woman of many parts. She can be found engaging in entrepreneurial pursuits, learning a new language, or volunteering her service to philanthropic causes. She's currently working on skills and vocational trainings to equip persons across varying demographics for success in the post COVID-19 economy. She is on the board of trustees of the Electoral College Nigeria. So, ladies and gentlemen, from this bio, you can see that we are about to engage into something very, very interesting with our facilitators for today, Mr. Kuli Lawal and Mr. Kia Hassan. Welcome, everyone.
Hello. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to be here. And congratulations on the pending graduation. So I'm sure it's going to be an exciting time for all of us. Kole, it's good to be back here.
Good evening, ma'am. All right. Are you available, Edie?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Right. Yes, we can.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Sorry, I'm still trying to set up. Rika, why don't you give them a little prop before I set up everything? I'm trying to still set up. Still trying to set up. I just came in. Rika, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I had the pleasure of viewing some of your projects. Well done. Edie has shared the cohort projects with us, and I must say I'm quite impressed. I don't think we had anything like that during our time, and I'm not sure even if we had something like that during our time, would have done as well as you did with your projects. So what we've seen, you already have basic understanding and knowledge of campaigning. Some of you have put your mindsets already in becoming aspirants and candidates. You've shifted from the part of just talking about politics on your phones or with your colleagues or family and friends. You've actually started taking on the mindset of an aspirant, which is actually the first step. Before you actually become something, you have to think like it. So we're already thinking like aspirants, they're thinking like candidates. We already have the push and the desire to come out and represent and serve. So having said that, can the people who actually want to step out and take, how many people in your cohort actually want to step out and contest or run for some position in the next election, whether it's local government elections that are coming up soon or the next general elections? How many people are actually going to take that step after this class? It's one thing to have put yourself in the mindset, but are you going to continue with it? That's an assessment we have to take. How many people are actually going to step out into those spots? Because stepping out into that spot is it's easier said than done. There are a few things that a person who wants to aspire to a political position must do. First of all, you have to join a political party. That goes without being said. Of course, you need to join a political party. How do you intend to integrate yourself into your base? Do you know where your base is at all? How do you intend to integrate yourself into that base? It's your base that carries you to become a successful aspirant and then become a candidate wherever you are. So, what are the first steps you do to integrate yourself into your base? Are you well known in your community? Because whether we like it or not, politics in Nigeria is still very local. So if you want to start up in a serious bid to move from an aspirant to a candidate, you have to be well known in your community. Anybody can be an aspirant, but it takes a few special ones to actually become a candidate. You have to be the first amongst equals to become the candidate, to stage that ticket and to become a candidate. First step is integrating yourself into your community. Politics, unfortunately, is a popularity contest. Do people know you? How many people are willing to follow you, to line up behind you? You have to get that favor of your community. That's your platform. Your community is your platform. That's one of the first things you gauge. Your community, how to integrate yourself and come out on that platform. Let that platform support you. Without that support, you're just going to end up staying as an aspirant. So what happens when you become a candidate? You get that candidacy. Now, the next steps for you now depends on the size and the platform that the political party you have joined has to support you. If you're going with a smaller political party, you might end up having to raise more funds on your own to support your candidacy. If you're going with a bigger political party, you have the luxury of relying on this existing structure of your political party before you get to the polls.
Rikia, we know you're in a big party, but let's tell the truth about big parties. Big parties require you to spend quite a lot on nomination forms and would also require you to really push the delegates. That's where you spend the money. So the way I look at it, candidates in the way I look at it, candidates in big parties spend money in pre-election matters, while candidates in small parties have to spend far more in post-primary matters. No, you can argue it. But
it also depends.
The way they speak English. You know?
It also depends. It depends on the kind of primaries you're going to have. Is it direct? Is it delegate? Or is it most parties have their ward ESCO? Is it the ward ESCO we're using? It depends. There are very many variables. When I contested for the position of chairman in 2021, it was going to be direct. So I had more people to try and convince. I had more ground to cover, and it was more expensive for me to contest as an aspirant for local government elections than it was for people who contested for House of Assembly in 2023. Because delegates is smaller, it's more concise. I had more ground to cover, therefore more expenses. But if you're in a smaller political party, your forms will not be that expensive. May not be.
Primary is too sweet. If you in sharp. But when you get into the field, Rekia, it is not here. I will tell you that one. You know I've lived that life. So anyway, everyone, welcome to the class today. Today is your last class in the 14th cohort. We're very proud of you. Your convocations or your graduation ceremony is tomorrow. We're very, very proud to have had this time with you. It's been a long 9 weeks. I'd like to say before time, whose mic is still on? I'd like to say before time that everybody put in maximum effort. things might not pan out as you wished it did. But trust me, we took in accurate attendance. We took in accurate everything. Some people will receive awards, some won't. Some will get the certificate, some won't. Certificates, we believe most of you that have attended at least 5 or 6 classes, or probably 10 or 11 classes, are generally politically literate by now. And we're glad for the work that we've been able to hand over. But those that will receive certificates, we made clear from the beginning there was a particular requisite for percentage on attendance and participation in assignments. But let's leave this till tomorrow. So today, the candidate, a 360 perspective. Charlie, could I have the next slide or the first slide? So of course, the introduction as is. So a candidate is someone who, upon pursuing elected office, has won the primary. Now, this could be within a political party. It could also be within, let's say I run for MBA chairman within an organization. It could also be, within your estate. Estates have groups and etc. So a candidate is someone who has his name on the ballot and is going to run in the preceding election. One of the things I need you to understand clearly is that once you become a candidate of a political party, you've generally become a target. And here's the reason why you are a target. So generally, a candidate must or will represent a particular ideology, prism, or direction. And that will be accounted for, or will be, how do I put it? Accounted for by those who are in opposition, by those who don't want the candidate to emerge, hence the candidate becomes a target. That's why the common adage, if you want to know the sins your grandfather committed in your village, run for office. You will know whether you're originally from that village, you know whether you're originally from that constituency, you'll know if your grandmother was loose at any point in time, or any other thing you want to know about yourself. Or maybe you've actually taught yourself Yoruba, you'll find out you're probably Edo or Delta along the line. And that's what office does. So the candidate is always a target. Charlie, I could have the next slide, please. Thank you. So here are steps to becoming a candidate. The first and foremost one is that you must first identify the position best suited to you. So a lot of people will say, I want to run for legislative office. You don't know the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You do not understand the way the framework of legislation works. You also don't understand the way things are being done within a particular office. Neither do you understand the jurisdictions of those offices and etc. So at that point, you can't now say that you are suited for what exactly you want to run. So you need to first understand your strengths. Are my strengths executive or the legislative? How would I manage these strengths? Where am I better at? What am I better at? So one of the key things you need to know first will be participation in suitability for the particular office. Next will be politics is a war, and you have to have a strategy to win. So most of you assume that politics is a fair game. You just go into politics, you know what, everything will be fine. Just speak like Barack Obama. I had this saying when I ran for office, and it was that when I went into campaigns, I was Barack Obama. And post-election, I became Machiavelli. If you know who Nicola Machiavelli was, and he wrote the 48 Laws of Power. And it's easy to say you want to be this or you want to be that, politically you want to be good, but not everybody is going to be you, or not everybody is going to run the race the way you want to run it because that's what they think. it's more complex than that. So politics needs a strategy, and it's war. And the sooner you get into it, that's war, the better suited for it you are. Talia, please, could you enlarge the PowerPoint? I can't see if you listening. So next, ticket acquisition. Ticket acquisition is critical for candidates. Now, you cannot be a candidate without acquiring a ticket. Now, what steps does it entail to acquire a ticket? Now, acquiring a ticket is not as easy as you think it is. Most people just say, just buy the form, now I'm popular. No, that's not how it rolls. You might be popular and you won't get the ticket. In short, the best way to beat best way to beat someone is that preceding him becoming a candidate, that ticket is taken from you. And once that ticket is taken from you, there will be no other option than for you not to emerge. And once you don't emerge, whoever wants to win could win. Talia, please, could you enlarge? I can't see the very last block, which is very light. I can't see it at all. I still can't see it. Okay, so you need, if I'm right, you need to question your strategy always. And most of the times, most of us employ, I'm going to go into politics saying, I'm the young guy. And the young guy is not good enough. And that guy is not good enough. You need to have a direct focal point. What exactly is going on? So most of the time, we don't question our strategy. And most of the time in politics, that's why a lot of people fail. We think being young or being a woman is enough to open a door. It will not open any doors. That's the honest truth. It will not open any doors. And a lot of people will not be happy about this. But the truth is, we need to understand the way things are. So I might switch to another device. Only that device will not guarantee a video, but I'll be able to see the PowerPoint better. So could you guys give me like a minute? Let me do that. Thank you.
Okay, while you're having your minutes, I don't know. I wanted to speak about this cinching ticket, but then again, I'm trying not to spill industry secrets. When you're trying to cinch your ticket, like I said, you have to integrate yourself into a particular community, and that's your platform. Because in politics, I'm not going to spill, please. I'll do my best. In politics, yes, it might not be your popularity. It might be somebody else's popularity you are riding on. So you need to integrate yourself into your community and make those connections. Your networking is very, 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 very important. As much as we want to be gung-ho and individualistic in our approach to getting to become a candidate, you don't want to have a godfather. You don't want to be stuck in a particular role. You don't want to have to owe people. You don't want to have to be indebted to anybody. You have your own ideas, and perhaps not everybody's ideology conforms to yours, and you prefer it to go it alone and not I'm trying to find the politically correct word to use here, and not be shackled to anybody's demands afterwards. Usually that approach doesn't work because you're going to be swimming against a riptide, and you cannot be seen to be challenging the establishment of the party you are contesting under. So part of becoming a candidate, even though it's war, you are battling another person for the ticket. Sometimes you might even be lucky that you are coming in where the incumbent cannot anybody to cinch. You have to make those collaborations. You have to find people who are popular within that community, within that area you're choosing to become a candidate for. You have to align. You have to, whether you have to compromise. That's the harsh reality. I have leaders in my local government I don't actually like, but I know I cannot do without working with them to an extent. So I will have to give them their regard. I have to call them. I have to speak to them. They might not like me either, but I have to make that compromise because it's about the numbers, about how many people are on your side to cinch that ticket. How many people are for you? You need more people to be for you than against you to get that ticket. So your popularity does matter. It might be your own social currency you're spending or another person's social currency you're spending, but you're spending social currency. Okay, somebody says they call themselves sponsors, but they ended up being a burden on the candidate. Please teach us how to choose one that will fight for one behind closed doors. This is also about the foundation you build. Some people, you are very right. You actually need people who will speak your name at places and spaces you will not be at. People who will vouch for you behind closed doors. I was fortunate. I had people doing that for me, and I still have people doing that for me today. That's about building your relationships. I relate to some people that some people say, if you want this person to support you, if you want him to be on your side, you have to give him money. You have to do this. You have to do that. And I have never given these specific people money. In fact, when I carry gifts as normal, during normal festive periods, which I think is normal for me because it's how I was brought up. I give my parents gifts, I give my relatives gifts. Gratitude is my attitude. So it's nothing for me to take, okay, Baba, I brought you this. Ma, I brought you this. Sir, I brought you this for Christmas, just to say thank you. And sometimes these people, they don't collect these things from me because of the relationships I have built with them. So it's also about building that relationship when you integrate yourself in the community. It depends on how you move. If you move into your community and you're moving like, me, I'm low, I have money, I'm going to spend money, I'm going to down the institutions, I think I can do this, I can do XYZ. With that attitude, you get in and people just take your money from you and they'll finish you. And then the ones that have seen you as a big fish that they'll put their hooks into you and manipulate you and not let you work, they will do that. So part of your advantage is the way you present yourself. Not everybody is going to be for you, and not everybody will not have expectations of you. But you have to know how to balance them, how to manage them. You relate to them. You see the ones that actually speak to you. It's during the course of a relationship with them. You now know, okay, this person doesn't expect anything from me but respect. Then you know the ones that expect, okay, well, this one's going to be expecting cow. Like it or not, it's a part of the culture. Someone's going to be expecting cow. You will not say because someone's going to be expecting cow, you're going to kick him off. You will not relate with him. You relate with him. And when the time for him to expect the cow is coming, you know how to manage him and tell him, oh, guy, I cannot give you cow. It's about wisdom. You have to apply wisdom a whole lot. Wisdom and humility, they'll get you very far in getting that ticket. Over to you, Kule.
Okay, thank you. I allowed the politician to take over. And, me as a retired politician, I don't think I can talk that long. So I think one of the key things which, steps to becoming a candidate you need to also have is you need to understand your party internal democracy. Now, most of you would say, what's my business with my party? And I'll tell you the truth. You've displayed it even in the parties we gave you guys. We had a situation where every of the 4 parties that still exist, 3 parties did their project, and 1 party came up with an excuse that the one person was somewhere, they didn't come up with this, they didn't come up with that. You were aware of the project since the inception of your time here. Why do you use 1 week and then you think the college will adjudge you on such? And that's a deep thought. It goes down to say, most people that we consider leaders are not deeply committed. But we're quick to talk about leaders that are not deeply committed. We've not spoken about followers that are totally uncommitted. So how can you produce? So you must be concerned about your party internal democracy. You must be concerned about the rules that govern the game, what INEC has to say on such matters, what this is, what this, that. And one of the key things you need to know anytime you go into an election is be ready to take a loss. And I mean this invariably, plan for a loss. So don't say I was planning to lose. When I ran in 2019, I was among the top 4 candidates out of 24. Abuja has only 1 senator. And for me to be on the 4th year at that time, that was a big thing. But I wanted to win. But that didn't mean that I didn't have a plan when I finished. Hello, you guys are in my plan if I didn't win. And that's the truth. I knew that I had become a national public secretary at quite a young age. Was not chartered then, but I didn't get it because I was young. I got it because I deserved it, please. So I don't play the age card. It's irrelevant. And I did what I had to do. I spent time working on party constitutions. Your present ruling party, I was part of those that put together this constitution. And I worked on party constitutions, and I thought it was massive. And what I learned running for office, I thought it was too much for somebody under 50 to have. I had to share that knowledge, which is why the Electoral College exists. Now, critical for you to understand how I was ready to take a loss was that I had seen that if I didn't become the senator of Abuja, I should be able to ensure that other people could be able to achieve the feat I couldn't achieve because I was restricted or canned by the situations I found myself at the time. So I was ready to take a loss. Now, we also need to understand that politics is a variables game. Now, many people look at politics and think, even while you were running in this cohort, you assume that because you had, and we saw it in the first election, you assume that because you had the most members, it meant you won the election. I will tell you, politics is a numbers game, but those numbers are variable. I can tell you that if Rekia comes out today and Rekia says she wants to run, and I come out and I say I want to run against Rekia, people that went to secondary school with her in Ikorodu will tell you, she didn't go to secondary school in Ikorodu, I'm just giving a basic example. People that went to secondary school in Ikorodu with her, and people that cannot track me up to secondary school in Lagos will have a problem with me. So it's a variables game. But now, it's either Rekia plays that to her advantage that I didn't school in Lagos. But here it is. I can play it to my own advantage. And here's how I'll play it to my own advantage. I can say, though Rekia schooled in Lagos, there's no track record of Rekia, you understand, showing where she's headed politically or for this office. And I, who didn't live in Lagos, have given more to Lagos than Rekia has. I can use funny things to do that. Bring out my taxes, or instigate the non-indigenous against the indigenous, which is a common law we're seeing in Nigeria. And whether we like it or not, it's going to get to a point where indigenization will no longer matter in Nigeria. We're a little funny and arguing it up and down. But in the next 10 years, you won't be able to say Lagos State, or this person, Kano State, or this person, Plateau State, because we are intermarrying, we're interweaving, we're doing things, and that's the truth. And I can tell you a lot of people are scared of that change. A lot of people are scared of that change, but they're not ready for it. I've told somebody, and we're talking recently, and I said, excuse me, and I said, in Kano State, 31% of its voting population are non-Northern. So imagine if the non-Northerners brought out 1 candidate and indigenes of Kano brought out 6 candidates. Who will win an election? I've told people, the next 10 or 15 years, we'll have people that don't even come from a state heading a state. And for me, that's true nationalism. But the truth is, we want to die on ideological and ethnic fault lines. That's not my business. For a democracy, democracy to function properly, it shouldn't be tracked ethnically. Many people don't agree with me with this. I'm sure Rekia is chewing a chicken bone as I'm talking, but that is the truth. It's inevitable, and it's coming. For your state, you have more than a 30% non-indigenous participation in elections. Almost every state. And the numbers are rising. So will democracy finally be satisfied? Maybe we might have the best person for the job. But remember, this is still a variables game. So could I have next slide, Charlie? So one of the targets or parameters of candidates is first to provide a robust understanding of governance systems. Now, most candidates in Nigeria, because they're also talking to people that don't understand governance systems, it's easy for them to campaign and say things. Like I remember sometime when I was younger, I think I was even in secondary school at the time, somebody was running for office in Kano State and he said he would put AC on the road. And they thought it was a big thing and people were screaming. They wanted to vote for him. This does not mean Kano people are dull. I'll cite another Lagos example. And Lagosians have been told multiple times that, some people were going to, create a flyover with water. I think that was sometime in the 90s. Lagosians thought it was exceptionally brilliant. I haven't learned to control land and drainage in Lagos. I want to control flyover of water. Anyway, so you must understand the way governance works as someone who's a candidate. You must be able to. Somebody said they lost me. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? I believe there's Rick, there's Chalia here, and there's Lisa here. You guys could at least answer.
Yes, can hear.
Somebody is saying they couldn't hear me clearly. You could have answered me since. So anyway, I'd like to go to governance has no gender. I'd like to extend this to it having no gender, no ethnicity, no tribe, and no religion. Good governance is good governance. And we need to understand that. Somewhere inside our hearts, we have biases. I'll tell you a bias most of you have. You people believe that APC cannot produce a good candidate. True or false? Don't answer because you are here. I know how some of you think. Don't give me that holier than thou answer. A lot of you believe nothing good can come out of the APC. Just like a lot of people in the APC believe nothing good can come out of the PDP. And just like the people in Labour Party believe nothing good can come out of anybody but Labour Party. Really? Is that how we've dumbed down intelligence in Nigeria? Is that how we've dumbed down political literacy? Let me tell you the truth. No party is bad. I've always said this. Like, I'm an Arsenal fan. Forget the good days of Arsenal now, or forget the very great days of Arsenal in the past. They all say bridge. And at that time, man, it was hard being an Arsenal fan.
That time your cabinet was empty.
Our cabinet has never been empty. We have more cups than a lot of these things. Ricky, I don't even go there. Don't even go there. Don't allow me come out shirt and go and wear Arsenal jersey now. I'm wearing Niger shirt in respect. Don't try me. So the problem has always been the players in the party. It's not somebody saying with 0 Champions League. I'm sure that's a Chelsea fan. Now, if you pack all the cups that Chelsea has, have you ever been to the Stamford Bridge Stadium? You can play 5-a-side with all the cups you have. You have 6 Premier Leagues, which are equal to the number of Sunderland's Premier League. Are you talking when Arsenal is talking? It's an insult. You have a stadium that cannot even seat 60,000 people. You are in debt. Let's not even discuss your problems. Let's leave Chelsea. So back to what I was saying. So back to what I was saying. So governance has no gender, has no listen. And we need to understand that it's the players that are bad. But not that. Yeah, Man U is just a step ahead of Arsenal. But as long as Man U has been. Man U was even worse than Chelsea this season. Let's not talk about Man U, I beg. With a leaking stadium. I beg, we will continue to talk. So back to what I was saying. It's the players that are bad. So that time it was really bad. I'm just joking with the clubs, though. I'm just trying to make the class interesting. So with the it's players that are bad and not exactly the party. So you hear people, Labour, we're going to get rid of APC, PDP. We're going to get rid of Labour that they don't even know who, you're not even sure who your chairman is, whether it's Akpata or Naburi. People that are not even sure what's going on. You have a total insurgency in your party hierarchy. So like Sani Shehu is saying, which I allude to, I've always said we need a critical mass of good players in any one of them. No one party is good or bad. Let's look at the candidates. Let's look at what robust this. And I always tell people, I don't think, and I don't like the rhetoric that is being sold that females are better in governance. I don't also think males are better in governance. So I don't feel any of the rhetoric should be sold. People are people. I believe the greatest looting ever handled in Nigeria by anyone in civil service has been handled by, that gender that wears gold chains. But they will not agree. I'm not saying my own gender too is good. We've also handled the worst situations. We even looted a whole elections. They are still looting money. We are looting a whole election and carry it to inside dustbin. And the election I'm talking about is not 2023. The election I'm talking about is the 2011 elections, which till today has no record of how many people voted or participated or did. Yaradua alluded to it. It was the worst election in Nigeria's history. The most rigged election also. But that's another kettle of fish. Candidates also must be able to unveil the iron curtain behind the campaign to appeal to the electorate. The electorate must be able to see why you do the things you do. Like now, if I was running for office, let's say, Ricky, I was running for president and I was running for House Vice President. Ricky, they will say, the electorate will say, hey, two Yoruba people, Ricky, Funke, and Kunle. And I'll come out. My middle name is Ibrahim Lawal for this election. But I'll say it like that. So now, I'm going to also one now. I know so I pay share. So what I said is I would have to play within the parameters and then use my Hausa part and state that I'm Yoruba or Hausa. So I would appeal to the Hausa part, Hausa votes. My name is also Ibrahim, which means I'll appeal to the Muslim electorate at the same time. Ricky, you should run for office with me. Can you say I'm selling this for you? But at that, you as president and me as vice president, I don't know how to work. I will not do cool. But anyway, back to what we're talking about. So you must be able to unveil the iron curtain behind the campaign. You must be able to use your strengths. Like now, if you're married to somebody who's thief, you should be able to go to Benue and see my in-laws so that they start to understand the language you're speaking. We're sensitive people, we're clustered people, we're family-oriented people, we're that's the kind of people we are in Nigeria. And then next thing is you need to get a backyard of finance, whether it's crowdfunding or it's whatever, or it's Godfather, or it's sugar daddy. Well, you guys are old now, I should be able to say it. A sugar daddy or a sugar mommy. You need a backyard of finance. Don't deceive yourself. Politics costs money. Anywhere in the world. Don't come and say it's Nigeria. Go and see how much Trump and Biden are spending. Go and see how much Macron and co are spending. You need a backyard of finance in politics. Politics costs money. Don't deceive yourself. Say, oh, wrong with the will of the people. Let me tell you the truth. The people do not know what they want. Have you ever seen where the people know what they want? If I ask this entire class, do you people know what you want? None of you know what you want. If I single you guys, one person wants a country that is like this. Another person wants, why does politics have to cost so much money? Because it's politics. It's the game of power. Power costs money. Power from the inception of time was fought for by jewels and gold. What else is it? Politics must cost money. Don't come up with all these ideologist, activist things. It's not supposed to cost. Where in the world does politics not cost money? There's nowhere in the world that politics does not cost money. And you guys need to understand that. So don't deceive yourself with those, I would say, distanced rhetorics. Politics is not supposed to cost. Politics is not supposed to cost money. How? How? Where in the world does it not cost money? Power. You need to see what people used to do for power back in the days. Kill a pope, kill a king, it's cheap now. Now you just speak some good English, dress nice, wear some suits, hold your wife in some sexy ways. Your wife wear one short gown, and all of a sudden, man, you're president. Somebody said that gives room for corruption. There has never been power and no corruption. What you do is to minimize the corruption in the power. There's corruption in every power system. We are human. We are not flawless. We're not God. There's corruption in the human system. Even I, as ED, I am corrupt sometimes. I try to reduce it, but I'm corrupt sometimes. And that's the truth. There's nowhere that there's no power and corruption. It's not possible. It's not humanly possible. Corruption is a part of power. And corruption, of course, means the abuse of power, not the Nigerian meaning of corruption, meaning carry money. But people, corruption and power is a human bias. You guys, we try to train you guys not to be activists. If you're going to be activists in this class, I'm not going to listen to you. Because we try training you not to be activists, try to train you to think. So if you want to say, this is what power is, I'm not going to argue with you. We've taught you enough in this class for you to understand that this is basic. Then as a candidate, you must reignite an interest in political participation. Look at teams and groups that are non-participatory. Find out how to drag mechanics into these elections. Find out how to drag nurses into these elections. If you look, go as far, get Slay Queens on your side now. Go to their spa, tell them 30% for what they call it. Somebody said I should leave activists alone. Activists don't know anything. Let me be honest. Have you ever seen an activist become a leader? Their own is to steal NGO money. Let me not even answer themselves. Back to what I was saying. So you need to reignite. If you have to go to spa and pay for spa for this, I knew people that ran in Abuja. I beg, leave Nelson Mandela alone. Was he the one that did the work in ANC? Go and read the real story of what happened in South Africa. You guys should not come to me with history that you're not sure of. Go and read who really fought for ANC. When Mandela did far more, Nelson just sat down, brilliant boy, sat down in prison for a while and gained on the fight of everybody. See, I don't want to tell the truth about some people. We're trying to talk about this class. Back to what I was saying. So we need to reignite an interest. I know somebody that in Abuja was running for office, went to a club, had his name there, Madam Zoshimoli, please, people should not make me laugh. Back to so went to a club, put out lights, had his name on it, put 10% off everybody's bill for politics. Those people started asking, who is this politician that would take 10% off your bill in a club? When Aduda was running against me, 3 days before the election, when I was running against Aduda, or whichever, both of us were running against each other, three of them, what they call it? Aduda went into MAP. If you live in Abuja, MAP Garden, which is just by MAP Plaza, went there, put like 5 million down for drinks. Went to that this thing in Utaku, forgotten the name of this one, very popular white bar. Can't remember the name. Went there, put like 6 million. Went to Moscow Underground, dropped like 5 million. Everybody were wondering, which guy they dropped? Say, election they come, now your senator do am. Man, we're down with this. We need to break into it. Break into LGBTQ. Break into whatever. You need to. Every vote counts. You need to find a way. Go to church. Tell them the truth. Go to church. Tell them the truth. Do what needs to be done. And that's the truth about politics. Next, you have to insulate your family. See, a House of Rep guy was killed while I was running for office. I had to send my family out. Those are the realities. We don't tell you this. You need to protect your family. My life was attempted twice or 4 times. The reason why I got away is because I was always wearing t-shirts and pullovers and sports jackets, dinner jackets, sports jackets, with university jackets, 01, this one. Oh yeah, I write a party like 01. You won't even know it's me. And they're always expecting somebody in Bavariga, and I was there wearing 01 up and down. And I would just walk past them and they were looking for me. So I could hear, I understand Hausa, so I could hear what they were talking about. And I could just walk off. If you know, 2019 elections, there were multiple fights as regards people running for Senate. Multiple. There was in Buhari, there was in Kuje, there was in different places. Then you need to also plan for the eventuality of loss. I don't think I can flog this so much. Most people run for office with only the thought they are going to win. That's why when they lose, electoral depression, somebody like Rikia now can just shave all her hair off and stop wearing makeup and start going to, no offense, so if anybody is in Aladra, start going to the beach to go and pray, all those kind of things. Because they didn't plan for loss. Next thing, Rekia will start looking at her family members. It's my cousin that jinxed me. It's my mother. It's my auntie. And there's always somebody in religion to tell you, man, that person. And the person could just they chop your final money left. Just they chop your final money left. Just they say, man, no more. Yes, now then do you. In short. Your mother buried something inside the pot. If you come on, your mother wants to kill you, she'll wait till you're a politician. Don't stop breastfeeding, you die there. There's no need for. So you need to plan for an eventuality of loss. Last thing, you need to give them a race to remember. I'll say they remember mine. Now, people that are running for Senate in Abuja use bills when running for office. It's a different ball game. It's a different thing. Am I grateful? Yes. Did I change the game? Yes. I did a lot. Vitalized new kind of posters. I remember then, we put up posters, and my posters were simple. You didn't need gum, need anything. The way my posters were built, you just yank off the back and stick them. And I do that, and cool noticed it. They're pulling down my posters back to back. I'll tell you guys one story. I'm not very proud of it, but we're discussing. I want to just show you guys I'm averagely human. I'm not perfect. So I noticed that Aduda was put, and the cost of printing a poster is not expensive. As of then, to print like 1,000 were like 70K. But the cost for pasting them was like 250K, getting people to paste them. Then you paste them, you see them there, and you be driving past and smiling. Tomorrow, Aduda's guys have removed everything. There was this day I was having a drink with my friends. I wouldn't say, and I cannot allude that I was tipsy because this call is recorded. I was not tipsy. I just came down and I saw Aduda's posters and I just started pulling them off. And my friends joined me. And we ended up driving down the street and we did the same thing back to him. It was so interesting that I kept it up till the end of the campaign. I'm not a goody two shoes. This also goes to a point that as a candidate, you should know when to respond. I know I'm a little bit too honest. Some people will say, this Kunle, I'm not a goody two shoes. People should never think I'm a goody two shoes. And I'm not a goody two shoes because of how Nigeria views you if you're a goody two shoes and if you intend to run for office. So I just revealed something which I could be thrown out of class for. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I'm not your fave. I'm not your celebrity. I will tell you the truth as politics is. Politics is war. And I was part of that war. So, Charlie, could I have the next slide, please? So, candidate methodology. First and foremost, you need to create a brand. Who are you? Who are you running for office? You need to create a brand. Who are you? So, who is Rekia? I'll give you an example. Who is Kunle Lawal? Arrogant, sure of who he is, overconfident, good, great with English, I'm sorry. I have to sack myself. Great to do English, quick to anger, direct, full frontal. That is who I am. So I'll tell you, model pair of channels had me on TV, and she stays in my estate. So she used to stay in my estate in Abuja. And we're having a conversation, and Modupe said, Kunle, you're running for office. I'm even living in your estate. I didn't know you were running for office. I didn't know you were running for office till Channel said they were going to have you on TV. Hey, the Kunle brand. Answer weak? Never. I'll never be caught on fresh. My answer was quick, it was swift, and it was fast. And it took me off Channel's TV for the next 2 years. Because what I said is, Modupe, of course, I don't expect you to know me because I can't offer you an envelope, even though the Electoral Act clearly states that you must give every candidate opportunity. You seem to give the only two that can offer you ₦1 million per interview. So excuse me or pardon me if you don't know who I am, even though we live in the same estate. Well, that statement cut me off Channel's TV. That interview was pulled down Channel's subscribe, and I answered immediately. But I knew my brand. My brand was swift, it was arrogant, and it was direct, and it was young and it was fresh. That was my brand, and that was who I was. And trust me, I don't take no prisoners. It's who I am. I didn't say you should copy me. Please, you might take 4th like me out of 21. I want you to win. So please don't copy me. I'm just trying to explain, know your brand. Please, this is just for explanatory purposes. It's not for you to adopt. Anybody that adopts it and they slap you, you're on your own. Me, I'm sure they pity me not to slap because they look at me. If you slap this one now, it's very slim. You just die on step. So you push not, please don't adopt what I'm saying. I'm just trying to show you what a brand is. So next, you need to know your targets.
Before
Hello?
please put that disclaimer. I said put that disclaimer before you get somebody shot.
I put the disclaimer out
that's-
before somebody goes to go and do something. No, please, I'm just trying to say know your brand. So next, know your target electorate.
Okay.
Like now, you see as Rekia is beautiful. Rekia will have more men voting for her than women. And it's simple. Why do I say that? Women are a little under pressure when they see beautiful women. And especially when they are, we don't need to say those kind of things, but you know what I'm saying, guys. So Rekia will appeal to her target electorate faster than she would. If Rekia says, I want to go to women to go and look for votes, she's going to find it hard. One, Rekia is well educated. Forget Rekia is the vice chairman. Rekia is a lawyer, a well-decorated lawyer. Rekia is swift with the Constitution. Women don't want a woman to talk about the Constitution. She should be showing them where the latest wig is. No offense. But that's not what Rekia will teach you. So Rekia needs to understand that our target electorate are the guys. Especially, this one we can't say it on class. We'll talk behind the camera. So next you need to know is you need to study history, but navigate the present. Now, a lot of us do not study history. You need to know the history of that particular election. So when I was running for Senate in Abuja, the first thing I did was study the history. How many senators that were non-Gwari has Abuja had? Actually, massively. All the senators of Abuja, except Aduda, were non-Gwari. He's the first Gwari guy. Okay, that means I can ride on non-indigenous. Do you understand? So I used that to navigate the present. I won't tell them that was the situation, but that's what I was going to sell. And next, you need to differentiate yourself from others. I'll tell you something. As long as Dino
Okay, sorry, NEPA took light, so I have to move back to this thing. So, you need to know who you are. So Dino is always going to get votes, not because he's good, but because he has made enough noise and he has differentiated himself. People will say, I'm better than Dino. Yeah, you're better than Dino, but have you differentiated yourself? Does anybody know how much different you are? You haven't. Next will be utilization. You need to utilize your party structure. You see Rekia now. Rekia, even on a Zoom, Rekia will show she's APC. She has to now. Because if there are people in this cohort that are APC, they'll say that one is our own. Say, that Rekia spoke well in this Zoom. Rekia needs to move forward in the party. And every movement in the party means something. Rekia, sorry to bust your bubble, I would reduce the bubble and bust it. But that's the plain truth. You need to utilize your party resources. Next, you need to prepare for attacks on your candidature. Now, someone like Kunle, what would you attack? First, arrogant. Second, does not even know where he comes from in Nigeria. Spa Fulani, Pat Yoruba, in-laws to Akwa Ibom. He was born and raised in Zaria. He can't speak Yoruba. There's so many things to attack me with. He was born into a Muslim Christian family. It doesn't make him too much Muslim or too much Christian, or we don't even command his religion. It doesn't look like he's anyone. Because he can't, not that he sways, but you can't tell. There are many things to attack me with now. Kunle know the hell word. Kunle picks on everyone. Picks on activists. Hey, the activists will not support his campaign. Kunle is always talking bad. Yes. I remember. It's not Kunle Lawal, the person that when I refused to, I sat down during national anthem, exercising my freedom of right. Kunle quoted section 24(2) of the Constitution and stated that every citizen of Nigeria, I didn't write it up, but stated that every citizen of Nigeria must respect the pledge, the Constitution, the flag, and the boundaries of Nigeria and people in elected office. Kunle said it when the whole people were supporting me. So even though I dress like a beautiful umbrella, I dress like a beautiful umbrella, I still will beef Kunle on that. Whoever goes to go and assign this thing to anybody that is in real life, you made your choice. So I did not mention anybody's name. So your choices are yours. So there are many things to attack Kunle with now. As a bad mouth, has no respect for elders, always abusing old ministers that actually which some of them are guilty of actually removing history from secondary schools. And they will come out and be forming activists, or some activists that have people running for president. Meanwhile, when they were running for president, they raised $2 million and didn't print one poster. I didn't call anybody's name. So anybody you people go and align this thing to, it's your choice. So I have nothing to do with it. So there are many things to attack Kunle with on why he won't make a good leader. So next, you need to learn all your advantages. I think I've mentioned this earlier, and use them to your advantage. You need to be decisive. Now, every leader, everybody will come and say, these are leaders. This one is a leader. Let me tell you one common characteristic with every leader. They are decisive. See, Mr. President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu came in, first day, I'm removing fuel subsidy. I want to climb tree. Why do I need your opinion? People don't know what they want. If you're going to do it, do it. If the money is going to go into local governments and states that will help Nigeria later, let it go. But remember for something, and it does. Them Rekia are receiving more money. The Rekia is a vice, though, but Rekia knows what I'm saying. They're receiving more money because fuel subsidy was removed. States are receiving far more money because subsidy was removed. But nobody's talking about it. All you want to talk about is Bola Ahmed Tinubu removed fuel subsidy, but he was decisive. He knew what he wanted. At the cost of nearly $1 trillion a month in Nigeria, do you think it was sustainable? It wasn't. So as a leader, you must be very, very decisive. I don't care about your emotions. Emotions are for sissies. I'm sorry. But as a leader, you must take things, so you must be decisive. Next, you need to prepare for campaign moves. You see, everybody thinks, I have a mole, I know what Rikia's campaign is doing. I have a mole, I know what Kunle's campaign is doing. Do you think that's not how Kunle and Rikia know what your campaign is doing? But come on. We are basic Nigerians. We always think we're about smarter than somebody else, not knowing that the same game is being played on you. So you must understand your campaign will have moves. Do not reveal, okay, how did they attempt my life? How did I know they knew I was in Guags when they first attempted my life? You think somebody is not somebody in my campaign that told them? Did I write on the newspaper that I'm going to be in Guagualara? I didn't. I had moles in the Aduda campaign. I knew what I was doing, but I also have to respect the fact that they also knew what I was doing. Charlie, I could have next slide, please. So in conclusion, I'll say this. Half of Nigerian people never pay attention to the news. Half never participated in an election. Let's hope they are the same half. Kunle Lawal. Thank you, everyone. It's been a pleasure taking the 14th cohort. I think this class was okay. I don't know about it. I think I threw the baby and the baby bathwater out. Thank you, everyone. I'm open for questions. Rekia, I've been talking since, so Rekia, it's up to you to put in something.
Hello. Can everybody hear me?
Yep, we can hear.
Yes.
Yes, Kili, thank you very much and well done for dissecting that topic. You've done a great job of dissecting the topic. Just a few places I'd like to come into, especially that place where you spoke about a brand. That brand is extremely important because it's what sets you apart from other candidates. Your brand isn't necessarily your ideology of your party, but that also sells you because it makes you distinct. And like somebody said, we're no longer voting for party, we're voting for the individuals. What are you selling? What are you coming forth to do? Why should you be voted in this position? What are you going to do that's going to be different? What is your vision? What is your mission? These are all the things you need to know and understand before you come out and say you're a candidate. And you have to be bold about it. You cannot be arrogant like Kunle unless you're willing to be wearing Kevlar up and down for the rest of your campaign. But you have to be confident.
I'm taking that sub faster.
Well, don't let people be wearing Kevlar. You have to be very confident in your brand, in who you are. Like when Kunle doesn't say I'm Kunle. Kunle says I'm Kunle Lawal, KL.
You know
that's
these things.
Okay, so somebody said, Madam Vice Chairman, how did I arrive to the Godfathers I pitched tents eventually? Actually, I have not pitched tents to any Godfathers. I have mentors, and I picked these mentors along the way. I have mentors in assembly, female mentors that I happen to meet at other events and other occasions. And I met these people, and I decided, okay, I like where you have gotten to.
Wait. You don't have mentor in electoral college.
Wait, now I'm not reached there now.
No. You have to start with us. Well, you can't be acting going through the corners.
Okay, let me go direct. I have mentors in electoral college. I have mentors at assembly. I have people that I've met, and I decided, I think I like you. You kind of think the way I think. I'd like to attach myself to you. And that goes back to what I said in the beginning: humility. There are leaders that are picked out in my locality, in my local government, that I've decided, oh, okay, sir, I like your track record. I'm going to attach myself to you. There are one or two of them, but these are not my sponsors. I intend to run for local government chairman again in the 2025 elections.
Campaigns.
No, I'm not campaigning. My primaries would be in, well, for what we're in, primaries might be slated for September, October. Of course, I'll be making some moves to push my brand. I've not
Yes,
collected
like
money,
now.
so to speak, in that Godfather house. I've not. But I've had friends and family that have come together in a support group that supports me. They support my vision. So when we're saying Godfather and sponsor, it's not that somebody will now, if you allow anybody to pay your entire way in your political race and run, that person owns you, whether for good or for bad. You cannot give somebody the power of owning your platform, of owning your victory. So whatever input you are getting from anybody, whether higher or lower than you, whether in the same political structure than you, whether it's in the same local government or state, you have to allow that input to be minimal and spread across, because one person cannot own your race. Because that's where you get to a point that the person will tell you to jump and you have to ask how high. You don't let a person, one person or two people influence you. You have to be up and doing yourself. So that is how I arrive at the people who contribute into my journey. They know they don't own me. We align in some way. It might be in many ways, it might be in one way, but I've attached myself to these people with humility. So it is their choice to support me. I'm not buying their support. I'm not begging for their support. That's how you get into your sponsorship without having a shackle or a chain on your leg. Because it's one person that gives, if you say go to one person and the person is funding your campaign, the person that give you money for form, that's an investment now. And the first
But
thing person
Rika,
expects is to recoup their investment. It can't be one
Rika,
person.
we need to bust this myth. Who said they are godfathers in politics? Let me tell you something. They are mentors in every part. Politics is just like medicine. It's like law.
You,
It's like everything else. You will always
mentors,
have somebody you look up to. Why
oh,
do people have this notion that they are godfathers anywhere? They are
It
mentors.
doesn't even be good for look up to people. You have to, as I've aligned with people, even as I became vice chairman, that people think, oh, I'll be acting like I've arrived. And I still act like I don't know what I'm doing. I still have the elders in my local government that I consult with, even though I know what I probably want to do in my mind, but you still give them the respect you consult with. There's a particular one of my leaders, he's not even hardly around, but I've made sure I've attached myself to him. He doesn't have many of our active politicians now that relates with him. I made sure I attach myself to him because he's a global person. He's very well read and he's global. He might not be going to all these meetings with them to talk behind those closed, but the man has a very, very stellar commercial track record. And that is somebody I thought should be my mentor. So I attached myself to him. That's how you work. That's how you work. You can't say you're going to go it alone. You have to, you cannot do winner takes all in politics and think you'll get anywhere. You can't. You have to know where you're going to fold. And like Edie said, there's nothing that has power attached to it that does not have a form of corruption or abuse attached to it. It is the natural law. It's just that absolute power corrupts absolutely. So we need to find ways to curb that corruption with checks and balances. You apply it, and those same checks and balances, you apply it in your relationships with your mentors. You check yourself, you balance yourself as well. So in that way, you also check yourself and you're balancing the way you relate to these people. Honestly, to be very honest and sincere, politics is not as bad as people make it seem like it is. Oh, somebody has a good intention or they have good vision and they kill it. How is this person going about their vision? Are they going all gung-ho that, you know what, I'm here to destroy the system and shake everywhere? You would have a lot of resistance. You have so, and one wise person actually commented, you infiltrate and you take it in from there, bit by bit. If you want to boil a frog, you don't just pour hot water on it now. You put inside cold water and start to heat up the water gradually. the frog won't even know it's getting boiled. That's how to boil a frog. And that is how to achieve what you want to achieve in politics. Politics is politics, so there's no saints. And then it's not even, but also it is not as bad as people make it seem to be. It's an avenue for bad people to do a lot of things, because good people, like most of the, I would assume, like I'm assuming most of this cohort is, most of the good people, quote and unquote, so to speak, avoid it. Nature abhors a vacuum. So if you are good, in quotation mark, people are avoiding to take up those spaces, then bad, in quotation mark, people will take those spaces. So what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? What is your brand saying? I'm building a brand of mine, particular brand of mine. And the one thing most people say is I do not sound like a typical Nigerian politician. And that's intentional. Because I have decided I don't want to be typical. I've decided I don't want to be like everybody else in politics. That is my brand. That is my vision. Not to do different. Because I can see different and understand different. To stand apart. That's my brand. What is yours? What are you sticking with? So no matter which atmosphere or condition I find myself, I know what battles to fight. You have to pick your battles in politics. You can't be fighting everybody morning to night. You fight the small one, you fight your civil servant, you fight your PS, you will get nowhere. And all your good intentions will come to naught. You pick your battles and try as much as possible to promote your brand. And like Edie said, another Edie said that is very important is that matter of money. Well, anything that has human per capita involved, it takes money. Aside from printing face cap, printing t-shirts, you think campaigning is easy? It's not easy. Your volunteers, you have to feed them. No matter how much they love you and they've decided that they want to make sure you win that election, if you don't take care of them, they'll get burnt out. There's a lot of discouragement on that path. Your volunteers, they're going to talk to people on the road. 80% of people they're talking to are going to either carry them and their flyer and throw it inside the dustbin. The sun will beat them, rain will beat them. You have to give them an incentive. We're not saying you should be giving them 10 million, but you have to take care of them. And if we're talking about people they are sending out, it depends on how big and wide your campaign is. You think I'm not going to be funding them? You buy face cap for them. In fact, one of the things people spend the most money on is that face cap. I really don't know what is in that face cap with the average grassrooter. They shall want that face cap. If you want their
Let
vote,
me tell you, no face cap, no election. I've
no
told
vote.
the short, keep down in your head.
I don't understand.
That's the reality. Me, I don't know. I know the most money my campaign spent on was face cap. I don't know what face cap and elections in Nigeria have in common. But go and check anybody's campaign. The most money spent is face cap.
It's not even poster. How much is poster? Is that face cap? You print
face cap.
You print face
cap. If they don't have that face cap, you haven't started running. If you like, buy form. In short, you can give them the face cap without buying form. You are running.
You are running.
To them, you are running. To them, you are running. It's that bad. So, somebody here said something, Rikia, and I think we need to address it kind of. And it was kind of on the lines of, today seems reality. Yes, today's class is reality. We've taught you everything that you needed to know. Now it's reality. We know you're leaving us tomorrow, so we're leaving you with the reality on ground. We're not trying to tell you that it's scary. If it was scary, Ricky, I will not be in it. I will not be in it. Ricky is a very polished person. Ricky, that leg not the touch ground. Leave Ricky that is forming grass with her head. I know her. Forget her. I mean, people. But the reality of politics is that there are things on ground which are the way they are. and you can't change them. Not because we don't aspire for a better society, but you first have to hold the reins of power to begin to change the narratives you want to change. And to get the reins of power, it's easier to change from inside than to change from outside. And that is the common, barest minimal truth. Someone said, I seem happy today. Yeah, you guys are no more students. I'm done with 14th cohort. We're already looking and planning for 15th cohort. So my job with you guys is done. So of course I'll be happy. You can't tick me off if you don't come to class. You can't tick me off if they're putting so much investment in you and you guys don't seem to be learning. You can't do that today. So I think, Raquel, we've spoken a lot. I think we should open the class for questions. I really love to see the kind of questions people want to ask. So the class is free. You can raise your hands in normal format. Who's there? Chalia or Lisa? Who's there?
Okay,
We
I'm
can
here, Eddie.
take any questions. Okay, we can take any
Okay.
questions now.
All right, thank you very much, Eddie. Okay, David, I've asked you to unmute and ask your question.
Thank you so much, Edie. Thank you so much, Raquel, for the enlightening presentation. It was really interesting, and I have a question to ask because you know the way people invest and it's delayed gratification. It's not instant that you're looking for something. So let's say if you have the capital available and some of the resources and some of the methods, if every election season you're running for something, not aimlessly running, of course, you have a plan. But by doing that as a tactic to put yourself out there, do you think that's something that's advisable? Or do you think that there are other better ways to go about it? Or helping others, or rather putting yourself out there? I'm trying to understand which one would be more realistic in the Nigerian approach. Is it supporting others, then when they're in a certain situation, they support you? Or you keep putting yourself out there because now it's more of the who is the face behind the thing. And at the end, you just be, I'm guessing that the core of it is you may be hiding in the background and nobody will really know you for a very long time. But at the same time, really most Nigerians they'll see you as a very arrogant and snobbish person who does not want to allow other people to have a chance. And you always want to try and force yourself in. So I just wanted to know from your perspective and experience what it's actually like.
Okay, personally, from my perspective, personally, that is subjective. It depends on you and also depends on the environment you find yourself. I'm going to give you an example. So, a particular close friend of mine, he wants to also run for chairman the next local government election. He's just making his debut into that that local government atmosphere. He's been there, but he was with let me not go into those details. He's been there, but he hasn't really put himself out there. So this is the first time he's coming to actually integrate himself, meet the leadership of that neighborhood, of that particular demography, and put his name out there. So he comes to me, he tells me that he's contesting, but it seems like XYZ has been slated to be the preferred candidate. And I tell him, go ahead and buy your form. No matter how much it might cost, go ahead and buy your form. If you're seriously going to be in this, you might not get it this time because you may be coming a little late to the game, and some people they've already pledged their support to a particular aspirant, but still going. Even if you don't win the primaries, support this person that does win the primaries. Support him, and at the same time, still build your brand, but just pledge your loyalty and allegiance. It's going to help you build a foundation. Come whatever other elections that come in, it will show this person has been there. This person has been amongst us, So it's about time and chance. There's a time you can put yourself forward, and there's a time you can step back. But like I said, it's subjective to the environment you're contesting in and also your own personality. Which do you find easier? Are you like our ED that's ready to box anybody at any point, at any time? If you come and Kunle has AK-47, rocket launcher at any moment. Is that your personality? Or are you more of a chess playing person behind the scenes? So you have to assess your own strengths and weaknesses and the environment you are contesting in.
Okay. Thank you very much, Rika, for the compliment you just gave me. I'd like to first but clear something totally. So yes, ED seems full frontal. Quite clear that I'm full frontal. But here's the fact. When you meet me normally, I have a small frame, just tall. I have a small frame. And what happens most of the time is underestimation. So my weapons have always been my intelligence and my wit. Witty with words, swift with action. You might be able to use it but I'll tell you that it's worked for me. I don't ask people to do it. It's opened doors for me. I'm witty to a particular level and it's worked for me. I've had to bulldoze my way through to becoming what you would look at as maybe the average national figure. Somebody is saying they can't hear. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay, so I'm witty to a particular fault. I'm a little forward. I tell the truth on any matter, as much as it's frustrating. I do. I also think that most of the time, when people want to go into politics, they don't have a clearly defined brand. My brand is not full frontal. My brand actually preaches the truth and outright honesty as things are. I would not really sugarcoat things. There are times when I read the room and I might not be as full frontal as possible. But most of the time, I'm known as being full frontal. I'll give you an example. So I had the privilege of addressing a church at the national convention, and I was talking about politics and governance. And the common conversation that day and questions that were being asked were, why should Christians involve themselves in politics? God, Jesus said, give unto Caesar what's Caesar. And I found this funny and I laughed. And I used a particular narrative to clear that. And I was like, and I'll probably use it here. The Muslims pardon me, but the story is the same in the Old Testament. The Old Testament and the Quran, they have the same story. So when David was anointed king preceding post Saul, sorry, and he hadn't yet assumed the throne, David went to play the harp for Saul. And Saul was threw a spear at him. I don't know for what reason. He wasn't happy. Threw a spear at him. If you were David that was anointed and you were a Nigerian, you know what you would say? What the hell? You're throwing a spear at me. I'm already the next king. But I said, David didn't say anything and he ran away. You know why he ran away? And this is what I tell Nigerians. You cannot ascend the throne you do not respect. And that's the truth. So when activists are saying, Buhari has been a bad boy, all of you laugh, can never be president. I'm the one. See, take it from me. I'm the prophet on this one. You will never be president. Not a cause. You will never lead anything. Maybe you try your estate book, but you won't lead anything that matters because you must respect the throne in which you're going towards. So politics is kind of diverse. It's odd. Its target is different. Everybody has their own personality and depends on where they're planning to go. I can tell you that if I ever run for president, I'll be a benevolent dictator. And people will say, Kunle, but I said, but I'm not hiding it. I'm telling you. But I think that's what an African country needs because we don't understand democracy to the point in which people can make those kind of choices. Everybody would always ask, anthem was changed. The anthem was changed. Nobody consulted us. Well, they consulted you actually. So you see, when you voted the Senate and the House of Rep, you sold your public opinion to them to represent you. So you were consulted. You made the choices. They made the choice of the new anthem for you. If you've gotten to that level of understanding of politics and governance, then you can transcend and you can understand why things happen, and you will be less emotional about things. I just hope maybe in this conversation, you guys will pick things that you probably didn't pick while you were in the class, from the realities I and Ricky are trying to expose from a 360 angle. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Edie. Rabbi, I believe your question was answered. David, okay. Rabbi, I've asked you to unmute.
Good evening, Edie. My vice chair, Mama. Can you hear me, ma?
Yes, I can. Good evening.
Good evening, ma. I really appreciate today's presentation in this class, and it really shows how the life of politics is all about. But my own concern is all about having a mentor, concerning the mentorship aspect and having a godfather. I believe mostly people believe that the governing aspect cannot be erased in politics. But I do let people know the difference between having a godfather and having a mentor. A mentor can just let you know that this is how you have to play the game. For my concern about I want to use Lagos as an example, but I believe my vice chairman can share more light about it. Nowadays, people from the party aspect, people are not ready to give the slot or the opportunity for those who have the credibility and the zeal to make an impact. They rather give it to those who they believe they can collect from than giving to those who want to make the change. Why is this being like this? Because I have a scenario of IBA SCDA that is in Ojo. The last election, the current chairman, the primary does not hold at all. And one of the candidate, the aspirant then take the case up why the party was pleading that he shouldn't do that. They are going to give him a position or the light. But I was still wondering, the next coming election is coming now, and I believe such a game is still going to happen again. Another thing is that in some parties, the form fee will let some people run away from contesting. What are the things you think we can do to maneuver or to get up?
Wait. Who's speaking? Sani, right?
Rabiu.
Hello? You said Sani, right?
Rabiu, sir.
No, it's
Rabiu.
Ma?
It's Rabiu.
Yes, sir.
Rabiu, I'd like to ask you a question. Have you ever been a member of a political party?
Yes, I'm a member of APC.
Which APC?
Yes, sir.
So your conversation about what happens in political parties cannot be compared to what happens in APC across Nigeria, or what can be compared to whatever goes on in other parties. You can't make an assumption or a presumption that because maybe you saw something happen in your constituency or ward, that is what goes on. I won a party ticket. Rick Kiato has won one. Do you understand? And you can't compare with that. We're both credible people. So what are you trying to say? That it was a situation. So the problem with credible people in Nigeria is the dull assumption that because they are whatever they are, the party ticket should be zoned to them. That's not how power works. That's why Patomi will never know where the primary is. And it happened to him. No, let's tell the truth about something. No, let's tell the truth about something.
Bits of the angle Rabi is coming. I know I presented it. I think I understand where Rabi is coming from.
I understand where he's coming from, but we also need to clear something. We need to clear something.
They're saying credible. People in your party, have you presented yourself well to the people in your party?
Being credible.
They just come, I'm credible, and like you said, with Pastor, so maybe I never know where they are. primary location. But you just come with that arrogance. I'm here to change the world. I'm not going to align. I'm not even going to ask because there's a particular candidate that came out at my during when I was contesting in 2021 that came out in 2021, and he came out. He was president's candidate. We are collecting form. You see, you don't know any leader. You don't recognize any leader. You are just right there yourself. When they were doing the application, I know him personally. I know he's of good character or good standing. But I looked at him and I knew we're not even going to get anywhere. So when there were negotiations, because my time, a lot of aspirants stepped down to join. So when that stepping down came, he was not even factored in the top 5 people that I had to absorb into my administration because he just credible. That's crazy.
Ricky,
That's
I'd
one
like
thing.
to add something. Ricky, I'd like to add something. I don't want you to think this is only in Nigeria, so I'm going to open the conversation.
In Nigeria.
If Obama did not speak at an event, and you can go into Obama's life and find this out, he did not speak at an event in which Senator Kennedy, I think, said, I can't remember which of the Kennedys, listened to him and said this guy has a future in democracy, Obama will never have been president. So it means that his conversation with Kennedy and the fact that Kennedy now heard him speaking oratorially to people now ignited something and he picked him up and he became the president. You cannot say you are credible by believing in your opinion you are credible. You have to prove to people you are credible. If you do not prove to people you are credible, you are not going anywhere. Flatline.
Another thing is, okay, you had a person who had a bad experience about LCD. And one of the things, aside from telling yourself, people around, you forget you have to tell yourself to the party. A lot of people forget they need to tell themselves to the party. There was a person who tested this election that just passed in my local government. He's had everywhere in Onigbo. Like I saw this. So the day he came to speak to me, I cannot say that we don't know him. He's one that has pasted the most posters around the local government. So definitely they would have unless they don't. I decided the meeting was over. You have wasted your time. You have wasted your time completely at this because all those posters went to waste. Last minute, 3 days to the primaries, he's still running. Now, can you see this person? Can you see that person? How? Why do you want to see them? Should we have decided? Because really now he's qualified though. Amongst I'm the most educated, I'm the most influential, I'm the one that walks in that circle. If it's that one, you have it. But have you sold yourself to the people who are supposed to be pushing you forward as their candidates? No, you haven't.
Ricky, let me give you better gist. Let's use a wider operation that people understand. In 2023, preceding the elections, Kingsley Moghalu is my friend, is my ebon, but we have to use him as example in this class, no offense. So, made noise. My advice to Kingsley Moghalu then and his campaign team was that they were concentrated on running for president more than they were concentrated in winning the party ticket. They say me, I couldn't allow to speak English. That was the conversation. That was what I got back as feedback. I spoke to him again. He said, Kunle, you're always speaking English. Kingsley Moghalu lost that primaries like a monkey. Like a monkey. You know why? Because it's not that he's not a credible candidate. He was selling himself for presidency more than he was selling himself to first win. You first have to win the ticket now before you start the presidential thing. But Kingsley Moghalu was on Twitter talking to people, when I'm president, I'll do this, I'll do that. You left your party alone. Then you want to win primaries. Best way to say it, call it work. That's the truth. And there are multiple examples. I just used him because it was recent and it was 2023. And that was what happened. And that's the truth about politics. Nobody doubts Christian Moghalu's credibility. Nobody doubts it. Will he make a fine president? Yes, he will when it comes to only economic terms. I also don't trust him in security and other aspects of governance. But he's a credible candidate. But he made the flaw of believing that his credibility wasn't going to be questioned or tested by the party, and was selling intentionally as a candidate, selling himself as a president more than he was first selling himself to the party. And the cost was his primaries, which meant he had no race. Meaning whatever money he had spent pulling together red media to market him and whatever was a waste. Do you understand what we're trying to tell you, Rabi? Anyway, I'm done.
Okay, thank you very much, Edie. Shani, I've asked you to unmute.
Hello, good evening. Good evening, Edie. Good evening.
Good evening, Shani.
Nice to be here. I couldn't afford to miss this final day for anything. My appreciation goes to the ED and the whole team. Meanwhile, I would love to ask, from tomorrow we transmit to being alumni of the college. Is there a way we connect with previous cohorts so we could keep this fellowship as an army of young Nigerians who wants to make input in the system? In that sense, when we stay together, we can be able to relate with ourselves, question our so-called credibility, because presently most people's credibility have not been tested. You just know that I am more tilted to acting like this when situation comes, but let that situation come first. If we continue as a fellowship or as an alumni body, that we continue building our leadership capabilities, that way we can be able to present ourselves with real life situation where each person would know his true credibility in real life and can be able to work on it. And when we eventually run for office, we can pull resources together, pull wisdom together, pull connection together, and then the end goal of the electoral college can be reached. So is there any program post-fellowship that exists for people that have gone through this program? Thank you, Edie.
I think, thank you very much, Sani. I think Lisa will do the honors of answering this question. Lisa, would you love to answer that question? Thank you.
Okay, yes, Sunny. We have a community of all the past cohorts, so you'll be integrated into them from tomorrow as an associate.
Thank you so much. And Edie, one last thing. My party defected on our final assignment, so I'm not getting a certificate. Is one permitted to take this course all over again?
We don't have a problem with people that repeat. Well, we have a problem with people that fail to the parameters. So I'll tell you something. What I did with your party was totally an executive decision. Most people might have, and I'll say your team lead argued it, but I said something. In the game of politics, when an issue happens, the leaders suffer for it. This is not acknowledging the fact that you people kept your work, you leaders participated, yes. But the truth is, as leaders, you must understand that with power comes responsibilities. And if there was anything I was going to teach your party, let me be honest with you. Lisa is here. Lisa, what was my initial decision initially?
To fail the whole party.
That was my initial decision. But I had to remember that the parties were merged. I had to remember that things were taken. So I decided that the leaders would pay the ultimate price. I don't rescind on that action. It was the best action I could have taken. And for me, it was best. Yes, it will hurt everybody. But you need to understand that the college has rules. And it's a mockery to those who actually did their projects, if you ask me. Because you
That's
gave me
understandable.
flimsy excuses. You know, sometimes I keep telling people, ED is ready to graduate for people. Lisa knows that about me. It's not that I'm a wicked person, but I want when somebody holds that certificate, you hold that certificate with honor and pride. And the fact that I can turn my back and say, that is an electoral college associate, that person carries our brand. So I'm sorry if you were affected, but I'm not sorry for acting as ED. You can take that to the bank. I already know it's common with cohorts to dislike me, but trust me, disliking me is beautiful. If you know what's outside in politics, trust me, you will marry me 6 times because I'm nowhere near
brutal
what you're
out there.
about to face.
It's
I'm
brutal out there.
nowhere even close to what Rekia sees in 24 hours. ED is nowhere close to it. But it's okay to hate ED. But something you're going to learn 2 weeks, 3 weeks down the line, like every other person in court has learned. And when you decide to participate in politics, you come back, and I have numerous people coming back, and they say, ED, we thought you were harsh. You weren't harsh. You actually tried to show us what reality was. And that's what my job was. And somebody said, ED is kind of happy into this class. Yes. It's not that I'm happy, but come on. You guys are associates now. It's no more. We're no more carrying stick with you people. Very soon, some of you will graduate. Very soon, some of you will be hustling ED with me. See, there are people that have risen in the college. I'll tell you, Reiki has ascendancy. Reiki was once a student, once a head of Lagos, member of region, head of Lagos, now a BOT member. So Reiki is somebody that I used to teach before. But now Rekia can tell me, shut up, PD, that decision doesn't go with the electoral college. And then if she tries it, my hostile boys in Keda will make her life miserable. It's a joke, I just a joke. But you can rise. So as associates, you're going to be dealing with me later. So it doesn't look like anything. Some of you will be co-opted into the electoral college, and I'll see how it works. You see ED normally, ED talking normally, ED behaving normally. And you realize there's nothing to me. I'm just a guy that is well focused and nothing else. So like I said, I'm sorry that it affected you, but I'm also not sorry that I acted as the executive director. It's my job.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's nice meeting everyone.
Thank you, Sam. It was a pleasure having this discussion too.
Okay. Tohiba, I've asked you to unmute.
All right. So good evening, ED, and good evening, everyone. I just want to acknowledge and say thank you to the ED and every member of the college or team who has worked together to ensure that we had this class. I just want to say thank you. And I need to also mention that in our party, NNPP, through this learning, through these expositions, one of us is now contemplating contesting as a counselor in somewhere in Lagos. I don't want to mention details, but what that tells is the testament to the fact that the electoral college is doing amazingly well. I'm not sure he ever thought that he was going to do that, but I guess from the way of things, from the learning, from seeing things the way they are, he got inspired, and he would be contesting in the next in their next election, the LCD or something as a councillor. I don't know, but he mentioned councillorship to me. So I just want to say thank you. And he also asked for support from me and my party members. And I said, hold on, let us graduate first before we mention that to the group. So because you are going to be doing that under the umbrella of a party, so we have to talk about that as Nigerians and not as candidates or students of the electoral college. So that's just what I want to chip in. Thank you so much.
Tawib, thank you for the amazing work you have done. I'm particularly impressed by you, Tawib. And what impresses me the most about you is that you know me personally, and you've never even shown that you know me personally. You've carried such high diligence and action, and in your ways. And people don't know you've met me personally, and people don't even know that me and you stand and talk and gist in Abeokuta. But let's leave this conversation that they don't know about. I'll tell you something about the electoral college. we're interested in his candidacy as counselor. And if he's able to show us that he carries the mark of the college, trust me, I will do everything within my necessary power. And this is a promise and I'm making this direct promise. Everything in my necessary power to ensure that he runs a smooth race. To the best of our knowledge, I will pull every strength I have, every tool I have for it. Because once you're part of us, you're one of us. And if you're one of us and you're going to make Nigeria better at that level, I'm ready to invest. I'm ready to bring in my entire resources for that. So make it clear and let this be a statement to everybody in the 14th cohort. If you decide to go into office, not because you just want to go into office, but because you have something you want to give, trust me, you can count on ED's full support. I will break bank for you. Party is irrelevant to me. I have access to almost every party. But so I will break bank for you. So the point is, that's what we're here for. So I will be supporting. And I will be getting the people that I have in Lagos, in everything, people that I have access to support that candidate. And I will ensure I will make the person my own candidate in that place, regardless of where it is in Nigeria, because that's what the college does. Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay, thank you very much, Edie. That was very, very interesting. The last class is always interesting, and it was. So we can call this an evening and prepare for tomorrow's graduation. But before then, I'll hand over back to the DED, Mrs. Lisa Umibello. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Chalia. Thank you, Edie. Thank you, Honorable. Okay, I think she has left the call. All right. Thank you, everyone. It's been such an interesting journey for the 14th cohort. I trust that you've learned, you've unlearned, and you've also relearned. So tomorrow, well, the dice will roll. So I wish you all the best of luck, and see you at the other side. Good night.
In closing, I'd like to thank everybody for their time, thank everybody for their data, thank everybody for patiently listening to us and allowing us to choose. The job of the college has always been great, and we are unrelented in the work we do. We're very proud of everyone. And regardless of what happens tomorrow, we consider you family, and you'd always be family to me especially. Thank you, everyone. Good night.